Hello, my dear. Welcome back. I am very happy you are here today. Find a quiet place, take a slow breath, and imagine a warm kitchen. The air smells sweet. There is honey, there is roasted flour, there are sesame seeds, and there is a cook standing near a fire. He is stirring slowly, again and again. He is waiting for something simple to become something wonderful. Today we will travel far back in time. We will follow the real story of Halva, a sweet food loved in many countries. Some people call it Halva, some people call it Halva, some people call it Halwa. The names sound a little different, but they all carry one beautiful idea, something sweet. The story of Halva is very old, so old that no one can point to one person and say, "This person created Halva." It was not born in one quiet moment. It grew slowly, in many homes, in many kitchens, in many lands. It grew from sugar, honey, oil, flour, sesame, and human imagination. Long ago, people did not have chocolate bars. They did not have modern cakes. They did not have machines to mix food quickly. But they had grains, seeds, nuts, honey, and fire. They learned that when these things came together, they could make food that was rich, strong, and sweet. Our story begins in the old lands of the Middle East and Persia. Persia is the old name for the land we now call Iran. This area was full of travelers, markets, gardens, and busy roads. People carried spices, silk, dates, nuts, and sesame seeds from place to place. Sesame was a small seed, but it was very important. It could make oil. It could give energy. It could last for a long time. Farmers grew sesame in warm places. Cooks roasted it, crushed it, and turned it into a thick paste. Today, we call this paste tahini. Now imagine an ancient market. The sun is bright. Men and women walk between small shops. A seller has baskets of dates. Another seller has honey. Another has sesame oil. And somewhere nearby, a cook is making a thick, sweet food over a fire. At first, early halva was probably not like the halva we know today. In some places, it was made with flour and oil. In other places, it was made with grain. In other places, people used sesame. The idea was simple. Cook something rich with something sweet. Stir it carefully, and let it become thick. The word halva comes from an Arabic word connected with sweetness. It means sweet food, or sweet thing. This is a very simple name, but maybe that is why it traveled so far. Everyone understands sweetness. A child understands it. A traveler understands it. A tired worker understands it after a long day. As time passed, cooks began to improve the sweet food. They learned when to add the sugar syrup. They learned how hot the fire must be. They learned how long to stir. A little too short, and the halva was weak. A little too long, and it burned. Good halva needed patience. In old kitchens, patience was one of the most important tools. A cook could not press a button. A cook could not check a machine. The cook had to watch, smell, listen, and feel. The spoon moved through the thick mixture. The color changed. The smell became deeper. The kitchen became warm and sweet. In Persia, one kind of halva became closely connected with wheat flour, butter or oil, sugar, saffron, and rose water. Saffron gave it a golden color. Rose water gave it a soft flower smell. This halva was often made for special times, for guests, for religious days, and sometimes for sad family moments too. This is one important thing about halva. It was not only candy, it was a food for feelings. People made it when they were happy. They made it when they remembered someone. They made it when they wanted to give comfort. A plate of halva could say, "I care about you," without many words. The story moved west and east, because people moved west and east. Traders carried ingredients. Soldiers carried habits. Families carried recipes. A mother taught her daughter. A father taught his son. A cook watched another cook. And little by little, halva traveled. In the Arab world, the word halwa could mean many sweet foods. Some were soft, some were firm, some had nuts, some had spices, some were made for big celebrations, others were made in simple homes. This is why halva has many faces today. In some places, the sweet was made from semolina. Semolina is a grain product made from wheat. It is a little rough, like tiny yellow sand. When a cook heats semolina with butter, it smells warm and nutty. Then syrup or milk is added. The small grains drink the liquid, and the food becomes soft, thick, and comforting. In Turkey, people call it helva. There is flour helva. There is semolina helva. There is also sesame helva. Families have made helva for many years. They serve it at happy times and also at quiet times of memory. It is a sweet food, but it can carry deep emotion. Now let us walk into the Ottoman Empire. Many centuries ago, the Ottoman Empire was large. It included many lands around the eastern Mediterranean. In the palace kitchen, many cooks worked every day. They cooked for the Sultan, for visitors, and for important events. In that palace world, sweets were serious work. There was even a special place connected with making sweets, a sweet kitchen, a place where sugar, honey, nuts, fruits, and sesame became gifts of taste. Halva was part of this world. It was simple in idea, but royal in meaning. Can you hear the sounds of that kitchen? Copper pots, wooden spoons, soft voices, the low sound of fire. A cook pours syrup slowly. Another cook stirs sesame paste. Another brings pistachios. The mixture becomes thick, heavier, smoother. Then it is pressed into a form and left to rest. Sesame halva became one of the most famous kinds. This kind is usually made from tahini and hot sugar syrup. The tahini is rich and oily. The syrup is sweet and sticky. When they are mixed in the right way, something amazing happens. The mixture becomes firm, but also crumbly. It breaks in soft pieces and melts slowly in the mouth. This texture is special. It is not like cake. It is not like bread. It is not like a cookie. It feels dry at first, then rich, then sweet, then nutty. It is simple, but strange in a good way. That is why many people remember their first bite of halva. But making sesame halva is not easy. The sugar syrup must reach the right heat. The tahini must be ready. The mixing must be quick, but not too rough. If the cook mixes too much, the texture changes. If the cook mixes too little, it does not come together. Halva teaches the cook balance. In many old workshops, halva makers learned by watching. A young worker did not begin as a master. He swept the floor, carried sesame, cleaned tools, watched the older cooks, and waited. Over time, he learned the smell of roasted sesame, the sound of boiling syrup, the feel of ready halva under the spoon. There is a quiet beauty in this kind of learning. No big school, no written test, just hands, eyes, and memory. The recipe lived in the body. A master could say, "Not yet. Wait a little. Now. Mix now. Stop now." And those small words could make the difference between ordinary halva and wonderful halva. Halva also traveled into Jewish communities, Greek communities, Balkan communities, Arab communities, Persian communities, Indian communities, and many others. Each place made it in its own way. In one town, people added pistachios. In another, almonds. In another, cardamom. In another, cocoa. In another, vanilla. This is why halva is not one single recipe. It is a family of sweets, a big family, with many cousins. Some are soft and warm, some are cut into squares, some are pale and crumbly, some are dark and smooth, some are served on plates, some are sold in thick blocks at markets. In India and Pakistan, many people know halwa made with semolina, carrots, lentils, or wheat. Gajar halwa, carrot halwa, is warm, sweet, and bright orange. It is made with carrots, milk, sugar, and ghee. It is different from sesame halva, but it belongs to the same wide family of sweet-cooked foods. In the Balkans and Greece, sesame halva became very popular too. People bought it in markets, especially at times when they wanted a rich food without meat or dairy. A small piece could give energy. A small piece with bread or tea could feel like a full little meal. In the Middle East, halva often sat beside coffee or tea. A guest came into the home. The host brought something sweet, maybe dates, maybe nuts, maybe halva. This was hospitality. It said, "You are welcome here. Sit down. Rest. Eat with us." Think about that for a moment. A small piece of halva is more than sugar. It carries travel, family, work, memory, and welcome. It carries the hands of farmers who grew sesame, the traders who moved it, the cooks who learned the fire, and the families who shared it. In the 19th century, halva began to move into modern shops and factories. Cities grew. People wanted food they could buy more easily. In places like Beirut, Istanbul, Athens, and later New York, halva makers sold their sweets to larger groups of people. What was once made mainly at home or in small workshops became a food of shops and streets too. Imagine a shop window. A large block of halva sits behind the glass. It is pale cream color, with green pistachios inside. The shopkeeper takes a long knife. He cuts a piece. The piece falls apart just a little at the edge. The customer smiles, because this is the texture they know and love. For many immigrants, halva became a taste of home. A family moved to a new country. The streets were different. The language was different. The weather was different. But in a small shop, they found halva. They tasted sesame and sugar. And for a moment, they remembered a grandmother's kitchen, a market street, a holiday table. This is one reason food history is so powerful. Food can travel when people travel. It can cross seas. It can survive wars. It can live in memory. A recipe may change a little, but the feeling stays. Halva became one of those foods that helped people remember who they were. Today, you can find halva in many countries. You can find it in small family shops, in supermarkets, in restaurants, and in modern dessert kitchens. Some chefs put it in ice cream. Some put it in cookies. Some mix it with chocolate. Some keep it plain. Just sesame, sugar, and thyme. But even today, the heart of halva is old. It is still about simple things becoming special. A small seed becomes paste. Sugar becomes syrup. Heat changes everything. Hands mix carefully. And then, after resting, the sweet is ready. There is no single creator of halva. No one famous inventor standing at the center of the story. Instead, halva was created by many people, across many centuries. It was made by ordinary cooks, palace cooks, mothers, fathers, traders, and sweet makers. Each person added a little knowledge. Each person protected the taste. Maybe that makes the story even more beautiful. Some inventions belong to one person, but halva belongs to many hands. It belongs to shared human creativity. It belongs to people who wanted something sweet after work, something kind for a guest, something rich for a celebration, something gentle in a hard moment. So the next time you see halva, look at it slowly. Notice the color, notice the smell. Take a small bite. Let it break softly. Let the sesame taste come first, then the sugar, then the deep, warm flavor underneath. And remember, you are tasting a story that traveled for hundreds and hundreds of years. You are tasting old markets, quiet kitchens, palace fires, family tables, and long roads between countries. You are tasting a sweet that has many names, many homes, and one simple message: life can be hard, but people still find ways to make it sweet. Thank you for listening, my friends. I hope this story made you feel calm, curious, and a little hungry, too. You are doing a wonderful job learning English. Every story you hear helps your ears, your words, and your confidence grow. Please tell me what story you would like to hear next. And if you enjoyed this gentle journey, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I will be very happy to see you again in the next story. Fact note for you, not for voiceover. Halva is a broad family of sweets, often made with flour, butter, honey, sesame, semolina, tahini, sugar, or syrup. And it is linked to Eastern Mediterranean, Balkan, Middle Eastern, Persian, and wider regional traditions. The word is connected with Arabic words for sweetness, and the history includes Persian, Arabic, Ottoman, Jewish, Greek, Balkan, and South Asian forms.